The idea for Shadow and Bone first came to me one night when I was staying with some friends in the mountains. I had stayed behind to read my book, and I fell asleep while I was reading. And when I woke up, it was pitch black. And I grew up in a city, so I'm used to city dark, which is not at all the same as country dark, where you can't see your hand in front of your face. And I was stumbling around in the dark, trying to find some light switches, starting to get a little bit panicked, when all of a sudden I realized I heard something else in the house with me, breathing in the dark. And of course I started to panic. And again, I didn't know the house, so it wasn't like I could go grab a knife or something, so I, of course, took off my shoe, because I would use this shoe to do some real damage. And I was standing there with my heart pounding when suddenly I realized that the breathing I was hearing in the darkness was actually mine. I was hearing myself. I had just scared myself. But as I stood there, I also realized that this fear never really goes away, this fear of the dark, this helplessness we feel. It's there whenever you are trying to find your keys in a darkened parking lot. It's there when you fall asleep looking at the crack in the closet door. The monster underneath the bed is always there. And as I went to bed that night, I was lying in bed and I just couldn't shake the idea, what if darkness was a place? What if there was no way to switch on the lights? What if all of the monsters you imagined lurking in the dark were real? I mean, in most fantasy, darkness is something metaphorical, but what if you made it literal and physical? And that idea became the shadow fold. I lay there thinking of one question after another. What kind of creatures would live in the dark? How would they evolve? What would make them as scary as they could possibly be? What kind of power would have created such a place? What kind of person would have that kind of power, and what would it take to destroy it? And the questions just kept coming, and I couldn't fall asleep, so I got up and started writing. Alina's power really grew out of the idea of the shadow fold. If you have this terrible darkness, well, what's the antidote to that? Light. So that's where the idea came from. And it really started just with this vision of a girl leading a regiment of soldiers through this darkness, gathering light to her.